Today I need to work on the little rollback here. I went and picked this truck up yesterday that I bought, and I got it all loaded, and I was tilting the bed back, and it spewed a hydraulic leak. The one hydraulic hose for these tilts right here has been rubbing on that piece of angle iron right there. And I have to get in there to replace it. Of course, everything's an oily mess from that oil leak it had, but see how dirty and crusty that is, grimy. Now normally when I do hydraulic hoses, something like this, if there's two hoses going the same place, I just do both of them. That way I know both of them are in good shape and I don't have to worry about it. And then if I do blow another one, I have a good spare. So let's get this apart here. So I posted, I don't know, a week or two ago about what do you guys use for drain pans? Well, like I said, 55-gallon drums. Well, I do that as well. Cut them off right at the top rib, right where it rolls in, so you got a little strength around the top. You know, get two drain pans out of one, put expanded metal over it so that your tools and filters don't fall in. But I was looking for something a little smaller for small jobs. Like now, today, I'm working on that hydraulic line. So I picked up these tubs. These are bus tubs, like for restaurants, and they're nice and sturdy. And I don't know what the gallon capacity is on them, but I thought I'd give them a shot. Another nice feature is I'm working outside. I can throw a bunch of tools in there and put it all together, and I can stack them. So when I want to use one for oil, one for tools, and just bring them back in. So we'll see how they work out. All right, so they didn't want to come off. So I just cut the ends of the hose off. That way it makes it easier to get in there. I tried to split this, and it looks like it is a JIC fitting in there, but it didn't want to come apart. This one's just a swivel pipe thread, apparently, because it's one piece all the way through. The other hose on there looks like it's been replaced, so I think I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna go wire wheel these so I can actually see if this is an adapter, which is what it looks like. Looks like this is a JIC that this swivels onto. This is just a chase nipple with a JIC end on it. Let's see. That's why it wouldn't come off. That's not a fitting. It's not a JIC. It's apparently one piece. There's like no line of separation there. So wow, because it looks like it's two pieces inside. Huh. Must just be this part that lets it swivel, because this did turn. Interesting. So when you swivel on this side, and I don't know if this was a swivel on this end or not, but it just seems, well, it must not be, because there's just a crimp there. There's no hex head. Well, anyways, I'm just gonna replace the one, so let's get down to the hydraulic shop, have them make us a hose. So over the years of taking trucks apart, I've ended up with a lot of hydraulic lines, suction lines, and pressure lines. So I've got my new line made, and I want to protect it, so I'm going to find a piece of hydraulic line in here that I could sleeve over this to protect it, much like this. I think this is just heater hose though, but I'll find something that'll slide over it. That's just a little too small. It'll probably end up being a piece of suction line, like this one right here. And I'll just slide it over there to protect that hose. Or if I have one of the larger high pressure lines that I know I won't use, I'll just cut a section of it out. You know, like something that's a massive pressure line, like this one. But looks like I got enough suction line laying around. We'll use that. So the suction line was too big, the other one was too small, so I found that heater hose and I just sliced it and put it on there. So now we're going to put it on. I don't use Teflon on my fittings here. I use a thread sealer paste, and I use it liberally because it seems like all the hydraulic fittings that I find on used equipment, they're always leaking. So I always put a, you know, be careful not to get down into here, but up on the threads here, I used to lay it all the way up through, lace it so that we get good coverage. Alright, so there's problems with the, no problems, it's just worn with the valves here. You see the handles, the pins are, the pinholes in the handles are just really worn out, and I don't know if it's worthwhile to take them off and weld them back up and then drill a hole again, or try and find new handles. This is a Jordan bed, but that doesn't mean that valve's what they used originally. But I'll have to look and see if I can find these handles. It uses a pin back here as the pivot, and then it pulls up or pushes down. So I don't have time to take this apart right now because I got other things, other more important things to take care of. But in the near future, this cover plate was falling off. There's only the one screw holding it. The other ones were stripped and missing. So I'm gonna go ahead and flap that, clean it up and paint it real quick. It used to have a light right there. That's long since gone, but I've got my hose in place, and I'm gonna put some protective sleeves on a couple others, and I'm waiting on the pipe dope to cure before I start it up and put pressure to it. I'll probably let it cure overnight just to be safe. So I'm gonna get moving on that real quick. Well, this old piece of metal is pretty rough. It's pitted and rusted and whatever, but it's better than it was. I've been looking at plasma cutters, plasma tables, and I just haven't come to the conclusion of which one I'm actually going to pull the trigger on. That would have made it so easy. I could have very simply made all of this real quick on the plasma table and just cleaned it up and painted it, but I don't have that yet. And I wanted to, you know, improve on this some, so I just went ahead and flapped this, get primed to paint it. It's better than it was. I'll give it that. Well, that'll have to do for now. When we get more time, we'll make a new plate. That box is in pretty rough shape too. The flange that it screws to is pretty thin, but it'll have to do for now.
Well, he was gonna replace both front tires, but the other one is still in really good shape, so he just went ahead and got one for this side for now. That was pretty bad. Wow. Yeah, that is bad.
That's what we call a wheel pop right there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Well, we got the tire mounted. I'm not happy about an import tire, but that's what's on the other side, and we are going to be making some changes on this. And that tire's got probably 90% tread, 95. And I like matching tires left and right. So when I do whatever I'm going to do with this, it'll either get good quality tires, or someone else will get 2 nice import tires with the truck if I sell it. So anyways, let's get it tightened up. I failed to mention that my new studs haven't come in yet. They're on back order. Alright, next thing I got to do on this is some exhaust work. I ordered a new downpipe because this one's got a bunch of rust holes right where the seam is. Not to mention it has this glorious hanger system, which I remanufactured a few days ago. I was waiting on my parts to come in. There's lots of holes in this pipe. I'm doing this on the blacktop so I can not have a bunch of rocks in my back while I crawl around, because there's not a lot of room under this truck, but you can see all the holes there. And there's no muffler, and this thing is loud, and I do not like listening to this thing roar down the road. Some people do. It ain't for me. So let's get all this off of here and start with the new pieces. I'm gonna see if I've got a muffler off another truck that we can put on here, because I need to take it off a parts truck because the mounts and everything are gone. Brandon's working on the F350 cab. This is what I got. This is off the parts truck, off that truck we took the BT365 out of. And it's not perfect. It's got a couple little holes, but overall it's in usable condition for a truck that I may put 10,000 miles on full time we have it. I'm working on getting this cleaned up so the new pipe will slide in. So I'm gonna use a carbide tool and just get all the rust out of here, get it nice and clean so they have to shove in clear back to here. Got it cleaned up. You can see that's where the stop is. That's where it's supposed to go into. They're pretty good there. Once I get it in, I'll flatten all that where I bent it out, and then we'll put a clamp on it. Alright, I got the old mounts were here, but the strap was gone. So I took those out because I didn't want to take them off of this one. So I just put these ones in its holes. And now I've got it in here. I want to take a hammer and tap this down. I'm into the spot right here. So I'm going to tap that down so that the clamp isn't trying to do that. We'll get that nice and flat, and then we'll put our clamp on. Okay, now before I clamp this down, I want to get it up in a turbo and make the downpipe where I want it, because right now you can see it wants to swing that way and I'm too close to the leaf spring. So I'll go up on the turbo, move this over like I want it, tighten the turbo, and then come down here and adjust this and twist it where I want it so it'll stay there. This is a bracket that holds the inner fender in. When I went to take the inner fender out, this bolt right here and this bolt right here both snapped off. So then I'm just going to take this off and swap it to another one, and then that bolt snapped off, or that bolt snapped off. So now I'm down to, I can take it loose here on this, or I can get all these out, which I'm just going to try and get all these out. See if we can get the broken bolts out. Just knock those nuts out of there and just tack welded bolts, nuts to the backside, standard 3/8 nuts. Only these two had broken and that one down there, but I didn't want to have 2 metric and 2 standard, so I just went ahead and knocked those ones out, welded nuts to the back of it as well as here. So when we put it in, you know, I'd go to take it out, it's one socket, and then I put never sees on all the new bolts, drilled the washers out. So we'll get this in here. I guess we should start it, make sure it's not leaking first, huh? Yeah, let's do that. Hopefully it's quieter now. Much better. So much quieter in here. I guess I should shut the door. Oh yeah, that's a lot quieter. Now I want to check, make sure no exhaust leaks around the turbo. Section of pipe, take it way back to the rear, and then do a kick out at the rear tires. I'll have to measure that, see what it is. I know it's 4-inch pipe, but I don't know how long that needs to be. But that'll be for another day. I'm just happy it's quiet again. Looks like my tire's wearing pretty good so far. I think I'm going to go ahead and have it aligned so we know it's going to be okay. Because the other tire isn't as nice as I thought over here. You can definitely see where it's been towed in. It's driving with that tire in like this, I believe. That's why this edge has far more wear than this side edge. And you see her kind of step, because that tire's skidding all the way down the road. So, I have to get it lined up.
All done?
All done. That's
Good.
it for this one. Next thing I need to do is that tailpipe. I can bring it all the way back here. I'd like to bring it out this way and have a turnout right about here, but I think that's about, I don't know. Let's see how many feet we need of pipe. Roughly 8 feet. 8 foot with turning out right here. That'd be okay. Then we'll get a 90. Build the support to get it out here past the tire. Because I'd like to put toolboxes in here. That's it. We're done for now. Now I'll go unload that bed.